What does Hungry Lamu, a game about a human hybrid and llama, have in common with a game about a couple going to an aquarium for their anniversary? Apart from being created by the same developer, we come across human and marine life hybrids sharing close resemblance to Lamu, monstrous creatures who are as bloodthirsty as they appear, killing anyone in their path. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator, and welcome to Seamongrel, a game that is about mongrels, but in this scenario, animal and human mongrels, or hybrids. If you have any game or video suggestions, make sure to send them to me on my Twitter or subreddit. Keep in mind that this video will have spoilers not only about this game, but also Hungry Lamu, and with that in mind, let's dive in. Kim and Theo, a couple who have been together for 2 years now, go on a last-minute visit to an aquarium in order to commemorate their anniversary. Understandably, Kim is mad at Theo for forgetting their special day, which causes Kim to even hold back on revealing it's their anniversary till the last minute, in hopes of Theo maybe holding in a surprise. But unfortunately, as the day approaches late afternoon, Kim informs Theo about it when Theo does mention he didn't forget, but thought Kim doesn't want to have a big celebration. After being upset, they both decide to enjoy their date at the aquarium, not letting the argument ruin their day. As they enter the renowned sea ecosystem adventure aquarium, they first meet Demi, who seems very uninterested to be here at work, equally as uninterested to talk to people. They then talk to Seb, another adventure park employee who is a bulky gym rat who had sustained a cut, which Theo passes a bandage roll to in order to help. Next up, they speak to Jen, the employee working at the ticket desk, who informs them that they arrived very late and that they're shutting in 30 minutes. Moving on, they pass the tickets to the ticket officer at the entry called Brad, who seems to have eaten something not agreeing with his stomach, counting the seconds before his break so he can use the restroom. Kim and Theo, a little disappointed that they only have 30 minutes, they decide to make the best out of their time, hurriedly entering, reading about all types of sea life this aquarium has to present. The couple soon come across a fish tank, which they refer to as being similar to a cartoon named Finding Nemo, having characters such as Narlen and Bori, being obviously a reference to Finding Nemo, with the main characters being Marlin and Dory. After starting to unwind and actually enjoy themselves, they enter the room with the Sea Habitat Aquarium being the largest tank in the marine park. That's when Theo and Kim witness the beauty it holds, mesmerized how every marine life form support each other in this miniature mimic of what truly is in our oceans and seas. Kim and Theo, lost in its beauty, appreciate their time spent here, glad that they still managed to do it even though being 30 minutes only. Exploring the aquarium, the couple also find a plush toy being a banana dog named Mochi, being a reference to the dog in Hungry Lamu who suffered a tragic death, unfortunately. After some time, deciding to see the rest of the aquarium, the lights suddenly turn off, even though only 15 minutes had passed since they entered. Disappointed that the staff closed down earlier than expected, the couple intends to leave when they see a large character engulfed in shadow watching them intently. Being startled and starting to worry, they approach the character, horrified that it's a largemouth bass, being extremely deformed, as if having a mustache, sharing resemblance with one of the staff that they met earlier, the ticket officer named Brad. After battling and defeating this monstrous being who gets knocked out, Theo and Kim are left speechless, unable to think straight, going over all the possibilities this thing could actually be. They give it some possibility that it might have been a mascot due to its humanoid shape, yet they classify it as something very realistic, as it even had fish scales. Horrified to the idea that this could be real, they plan to leave when they soon come across Mia, someone cowering in the toilet who tells the couple about how she and her boyfriend planned this visit for their monthsary, with the boyfriend mentioning that he had something important to give her. A surprise. After spending some time in the restroom with no one coming to their aid, Mia's boyfriend decides to go out for help, yet not coming back. As they proceed, they are faced with a closed gate which is operated by some sort of control desk in a control room, which conveniently happens to be close by. They enter the control room when they find a note left over by someone who complains about their job in the marine park and having to put up with all the uninteresting people here, explaining he used to be a scientist. The There's more to the story, but more on this later in the video. After finding a fuse in order to bring the power back up, they get attacked by a mutated hybrid shark resembling the face of a person. After a long and dangerous battle, the couple managed to overpower the shark when they noticed the smell that was bothering them before was due to a corpse of someone who had recently lost his life brutally under the hands of one of the marine life mutants. After inspecting the body, they realized it belonged to no other than Mia's boyfriend, who had been holding an engagement ring, being part of his planned surprise for his girlfriend. This man wanted to propose to Mia, someone he thought to be so important in his life that he wanted to marry after just a month. But this very special date he had arranged for a long time all comes crumbling down when mutated sea animals come to life and threaten the lives of anyone in the park. They take the engagement ring and go back to Mia, breaking the terrible news to her. His name being Brian, Mia is visibly seen to break down, getting on her knees, depicting what a wonderful person he was. Crying uncontrollably, she passes them a storage key they found earlier as a gesture of goodwill, asking them to leave her so she can grieve the loss of her loved one. Kim and Theo, saddened by what they witness, appreciating each other's presence even more, especially in these dire moments as they could lose each other, they proceed more determined to get out of the park alive and unharmed. That's when they enter the dark deep sea room filled with jellyfish tanks, meeting Sally here, someone so carefree and dismissive, acting oblivious that she didn't even notice all the shenanigans happening in the aquarium, even though she is aware that it has gone into a lockdown. They ask her for directions, which she explains the only way out is through the entry door at the lobby, which they can circle back to from the merch store. When they ask her to go with them, she refuses, telling them she will stay to help other guests. This explains that she is not just a careless, clueless person as the note suggested, but a brave and caring person who, despite all the dangers, still wants to help others. As they proceed to leave, they come across the exposed tanks where they can pet the sea life, noticing one of the gates being shut. They go back to see if Sally has a keycard to give them when they notice another hybrid marine creature, a jellyfish, with the face of one of the staff working at the ticket desk, Jen. After defeating the mutant, they find a keycard left behind by Sally, who's nowhere to be seen. They pick it up and open the gate, entering the merch store, going to a locker where they find a mysterious picture of two men, with the word genetics written behind them, clearly showing one of these men at least worked here. The scientist who wrote the note showing his disdain towards the staff, looking at them with contempt. The couple soon encounter another marine life hybrid, a giant sea turtle having the face of Sally, the nice lady that they spoke to before. After managing to defeat it, they manage to open the gate and go to the lobby when they encounter the last mutant, being a dolphin hybrid. After defeating the dolphin, the couple leave the aquarium, never to return again, with this life-threatening experience making them appreciate each other very much, knowing how much they truly love each other. It's evident that the creatures the couple encounter in the game are hybrids between the marine life in the aquarium and the unlucky staff members. The very first hybrid the couple encounter is the largemouth bass, who has a mustache and is bald, clearly showing the resemblance to Brad, the ticket officer who checks the guests' tickets. The second hybrid, the shark, seems to be Seb, as the face the shark has is of a darker tone and he's got a chin dimple just like Seb. The shark's mouth is all bloodied as well, depicting that he was the culprit behind Brian's death, Mia's boyfriend, who died in a similar fashion to how Lamu would kill his victims, by targeting their heads. The jellyfish seems to be Jen, as its face has got a beauty mole just like Jen did, and as the couple mention, it has been hanging on the ceiling even when they were speaking to Sally, which reveals it couldn't possibly be Sally. Going to one of the restrooms, they encounter the sea turtle, which has closed, relaxed eyes, closely resembling Sally. And finally, we encounter the dolphin, who doesn't necessarily resemble the last staff member we meet, but it could very likely be Demi, as the note written by the scientist mentions her name as well, people that he really didn't like and wanted to punish. It becomes clear through the note and the picture we find. The culprit behind all the creatures appearing is a scientist who is unhappy with his current job at the aquarium and wants to rather discover new things in science. It's just not very clear how he manages to so quickly turn the staff members into these monstrosities. But there's a hint that leads to a possible answer. First meeting Brad, he complains about a severe stomachache, not being able to hold himself from going to the restroom. Soon after, roughly 15 minutes later, the couple encounter the first creature with all the lights going off, which could suggest the scientist already had spiked their food or drink or whatever else to transform them into the hybrids beforehand, with the results only being evident now. Going over the note, the author describes himself as an intelligent scientist who, alongside his mentor, were at the edge of a breakthrough before something happened to stop them. Unhappy with how his life turned out, being stuck in a place he doesn't like with people he hates even more, he makes a promise that they will get what they deserve, which explains his motive behind turning the staff members, Brad, Seb, Demi, Sally, and Jen, into these monstrosities. Now, how does this game relate to the Hungry Lamu game? Apart from some references such as the plush toy banana dog, which is just an insert for fun, the picture we find of the scientist and his mentor, we clearly see the man who was mentoring him was no other than Dr. Bruns. Dr. Bruns was a scientist who was dismissed by the scientist community who didn't take him seriously, believing him to be a fraud. To prove them wrong, Dr. Bruns does something so inhumane and cruel, experimenting on his own son Larry, who becomes a llama hybrid, calling himself Lamu, seeing humans like fruits, targeting their heads, just like how the shark hybrid did. The scientist in the aquarium was working with Dr. Bruns before, until he lost his life, being killed by Lamu, which is why the scientist explains they were close to the breakthrough, yet they didn't manage to fully reach it. Therefore, after Dr. Bruns dying, his apprentice goes on performing his own experiments on people that he doesn't like, turning them into animal hybrids just like Lamu, seeing the world in a cartoony way, eating humans, believing them to be fruits, which means the experiments not only affect the subject's appearance, but also their minds. And that's it for the end of this video, folks. What are your thoughts about where the story is leading here? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, it's been your host Dar. Thank you for being here, and I truly hope to see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.